Welcome to the Property Talk, where we make sense of the real estate industry. My name is Christabel Musime. I am your host. Now, before we get into today's edition of the show, I want to remind you that the Homes and Property Expo is just right around the corner. It's on the 26th to 27th of July. I have told you before, mark your calendars. 27th of July is the Homes Expo in partnership with the Backyard Gardeners. So, now let's get into our interview for today. On set with me is Mr. Wilbur, a face known to many of you. When you talk about real estate and you don't talk about Wilberforce and Credo, you're not talking about real estate. This particular month, we have something we're doing whereby we're answering questions that the audience has been asking. The first question that comes to you says, everyone talks about title verification, but between Milo leasehold and freehold, does anyone really know what they are buying?
Leasehold, private Milo, freehold. I think everyone needs to understand the land tenure systems that we have in Uganda. But straight to answer that question, Milo land, you're buying perpetuity, you're buying ownership forever. And that's the advantage, that you own everything on, beneath, and above the land, and it's owned in perpetuity until the end of time. You have no time bound or specificity on how you should use that land, except in a zoned area. For leaseholds, there is a particular time with which you're supposed to use that land, and then you're bound to renew when that period is over. So it means leasehold, there's a landlord and you're only sub-leasing, sub-renting from that landlord. And it has a specific time. And after that time has expired, you have to renew. That's the difference between the land tenure systems. But generally, I would think all land tenure systems are good. You just have to verify the owner before you purchase. You make a proper sales agreement, a purchase agreement, and you make sure that you due diligence to see that there are no encumbrances on the land, and then you're good to use the land.
In your own perspective, which of the three is better? Milo, leasehold, and freehold. Which of the three is better?
Private Milo is very good, because then
Which is private Milo?
Private Milo.
Is it the same as just Milo?
Yes, private Milo or Milo is the best, definitely, because it has no time lapse on it. Once you own it, it is yours forever until the end of time.
So freehold has a time lapse on it.
Freehold is as good, you would say, as a Milo land. It's first leasehold and then transformed into freehold, so it's as well as good. And then the leasehold is one that has a time cap on it.
Yes.
So, but you'll find that in terms of use, provided the location is good and the due diligence is good, even a leasehold, 49 years, 99 years, 60 years, is also good to have, depending on how you calculated the project you put on and the returns that you expect from it. They are all good to go, but private Milo definitely has perpetuity, so it's usually a better option in terms of land purchase.
Which land tenure does Buganda land use?
Buganda land gives leasehold titles. So it gives leasehold. Buganda Land Board still owns the land of Buganda Kingdom, and then they lease you a piece of that land for a certain period of time. And of course, you wait for renewal when the time comes for renewal.
Now, most people that buy Chibanja, do they actually know that they're buying a leasehold? How do they verify how many years am I buying, or how long have I bought? Do they actually ever get into those details when you're buying a Chibanja from someone?
Ideally, you should. When you're buying a Chibanja, you should verify ownership. Who was the first owner? Who is the current owner? How has it moved hands in terms of verification of size? Always use professionals when buying a Chibanja, or even Milo land. Always use a professional to help you in determining of value. You need a valuer. You need a surveyor, a land surveyor, to open boundaries or to take measurements of your Chibanja and map it out properly and give it to you, to avoid any encroachers on your land or you encroaching on another person's land. After you've done that, go to Buganda Land Board if that land belongs to Buganda Kingdom. Go to Uganda Land Commission if the land belongs there. Go to KCCA if it's KCCA land. Just make sure that whenever you're buying a leasehold land, you do due diligence. Go to the village, speak to the LC1 chairperson, speak to the neighbors, get to know every information you need to know about that land before you go ahead to pay for it or develop it.
Maybe you're not to be taking it, but many people buy Chibanja land and they do their due diligence with the village area, the local council who had the land first, but they never really go to find out this land is how many years. Is that supposed to be done? A Chibanja buyer, are they supposed to find out how many years do I have on this Chibanja that I have bought?
Well, like I said, that's the risk that lies therein in buying the Chivanja land. But for every risk, there is a mitigation plan. Like I said, that due diligence comes in handy, but also pass that risk to a professional. Make sure you have a valuer, make sure you have a surveyor with you to do that due diligence for you. It's very important that you get to know who the actual landlord is, who the final owner of that land is, and what they think of that land, what plan they have, and if they can actually offer you to outrightly buy yourself out. It would be the best thing to do. Even if you may not have the money now as you're buying the Chivanja, you can agree a payment plan with them. It's very important that you go with the end in mind. Fine, you're buying a Chivanja now, but get to know who the actual owner is, how they own that land, how much time do they have on that land. Don't just buy from the final person selling to you the Chivanja. Get to know the movement of that Chivanja until it gets to that person. It will help you not to lose your money after you've purchased.
But why I'm dwelling so much on this question is because it's very important that many people today buy Chibanja land, and they buy it from the first person they're buying from. So the due diligence they take is, who was the previous owner before this one? Who was the previous owner before that one? And that's where they stop, and then they go to the LC council. But some people are afraid to go to Buganda land because they feel like if I go to Buganda land, there are all these other extra costs that are not necessarily needed. Yet, if I paid my usuru, I am okay with that. Is that right?
It is not right. The cost of due diligence is not compared to the risk of losing all the money you bought the land. I think it's very important that you pay money in due diligence to save a would-be loss for the entire amount that you would pay. That's why I do not advise anyone to cut out professionals because you think you're saving. What you think you're saving now, you'll pay back later a much higher price when you lose your entire amount. That's why I say from the inception, from when you get the idea, from when you see this land and you like it, call on your professional to come with you. Call on your professional real estate agent, your valuer, your surveyor to walk this journey with you, your lawyer, because then the contract that you make, the purchase agreement, the sale agreement that you will sign is very important. And it's very important that it has the right dimensions done by a surveyor, you're buying at the right price done by a valuer, and your lawyer drafts a contract that later will be enforceable and will protect your rights on that land. Usually, Chivanja is usually about how your rights are protected as the Chivanja owner on that land. So very important, use a surveyor, use a valuer, use a professional real estate agent, and use a lawyer.
Next question. Yeah. Do people really buy homes or just hopes, especially when buying off-plan developments that never quite get done in Uganda?
Interesting question. People buy homes. We've seen so many people who have benefited from off-plan purchases. The advantages of plan purchases is that you're able to have a longer time of paying for the house without accumulating any interest. You have over 36 months. Some developers now even go up to 5 years of paying back that house without necessarily having to have a huge down payment. You can even start from as low as 5% booking on that unit. So that's the advantage you have with off plans. But you also have an advantage that you get to participate in the project. You get to choose the finishes that you want at the end of the day, which is a very good thing. Although there is a risk. And like I said, every risk, you must have a mitigation plan. The risk is for you to pay and the project doesn't get completed.
Exactly.
Or the amenities promised are not actually
given
in the final product. What mitigation plan can I give you? If you're buying off plan, like I said, make sure the contract is very clear, that it states the exact square meters you're taking, the type of finishes, the type of doors, lighting, amenities that are going to be in the project, and ensure that you follow it up. Make sure it's witnessed by a lawyer and the parties on the other side. Number two, make sure that your payments are commensurate to the project progress. If the project has only gone 30%, make sure you've only paid 30%. If the project is at 50%, make sure you've only remitted money worth 50%. That way, anytime a project stalls, your level of investment is commensurate to the level of the project progress. That way, it means whatever time it ends, you're able to complete it yourself. Again, go with a professional agent, a professional real estate advisor like myself, and avoid the risk.
Next question. Can someone genuinely buy a house in Kampala without knowing someone in lands or City Hall? Or is this just a myth we talk about and like to believe?
Yes, you can buy land, you can buy a property without necessarily knowing someone in lands. You know, technology now has changed, Christabel.
Okay.
You can do a land search online
Mm.
and it's authentic.
Mm.
You can submit building plans online and it's authentic.
And are they approved, these building plans, when you submit them online?
The process is actually now fully online, and you can have your building permit, your occupation permit done through online registration and submission. That shows you that also ministry is awake to the fact that there is need to streamline and increase efficiency through the use of technology. So yes, it's true, you can buy a property without necessarily knowing anyone inside land's office, especially if you choose to use a profession. Your valuer can help you move this process. Your qualified surveyor can help you to move this process. Your qualified and professional real estate agent can help you move this process without necessarily knowing someone inside. Do your due diligence on time. Make sure you have a full search report from the lands ministry that shows you the authenticity of the property that you buy. Visit the property. Please do not buy without visiting. Even when you're out of the country, send your trusted agent. When you go to see a property, please do not end on what is shown to you. Make sure you move at every point and every corner. After your agent has left, please talk to the neighbors, talk to the LC chairperson, do your own due diligence to get to know really what you're buying, and don't be in a rush to pay your money. Take your time. Sometimes delaying payment.
That is where the
helps
next
you.
question comes.
Yes.
Don't be in a rush to pay your money. Actually, I'm glad I hadn't yet asked that question. Someone then goes and asks, why do agents always say it's going fast? Is it a fact or just your favorite line? Our passing remarks as we end this interview, I'd like us to look at that question, because everywhere you go to buy a property, agents are telling you what's the down unit in. What's the down unit in? So if now you tell me don't be quick to spend your money, and yet I have this agent in my ear telling me
Christabel, I would like to tell buyers, real estate buyers, purchasers, do not be in a rush to pay. Take your time, do due diligence, pray, seek everything you have to seek, but do not be in a hurry to spend. Sometimes the rush will lead you into missing out a very important fact that will later cause you a loss. Now, it's not always a myth that when they tell you it's moving fast, indeed, sometimes real estate, yes, moves fast. You can see land today and you say, I'll think about it, I'll call my wife to look at it, and the next minute someone sees, pays, and they are done. All I am saying, however, don't be too slow. If you like it, move in, do your searches, do your due diligence in that day, prepare the money. Now you can make a commitment, enter into a sale agreement as you mobilize the rest of the money, or as you rectify a few things here and there. Don't be in a hurry to pay, although do your due diligence on time and make sure you secure that property early enough in time. Again, if you have a professional, it will help you. They know how to negotiate the other party, to allow you time to negotiate, to do due diligence, or even to do an agreement in the interim that protects you as you buy more time to raise the money and finish your due diligence. But never be in a rush to pay today, because a good property can come any other day.
There you've had it from Wilberforce himself. Wilbur, it was a pleasure having you on set. Thank you so much for addressing the questions of the audience. For this month, we have given it to you in preparation for the Homes and Gardeners Expo, Homes and Property Expo. We are giving this month to you, our lovely audience. So send in those questions, ask anything you want to know, and Credo will be on ground to answer some of these questions. Thank you so much.